So far, everything we've looked at obeys the octet rule. Hydrogen has a pair of electrons and everything else will end up with 8 when it's finished bonding. But the octet rule is a rule that we made up to make life easier for us. Not every covalent molecule will obey the octet rule. And so here are a few that don't. If it doesn't obey the octet rule, it's either electron deficient, meaning like boron, it won't have enough electrons, or it has an expanded octet. So for a few of these, we'll see they have more than 8 electrons. How do we know? Well, we sort of just have to try it and see. Some things to keep in mind. First of all, once people learn about expanded octets, they want to start using them everywhere. Don't start making a bunch of double bonds. If you need to make an expanded octet, that's usually connecting bonds or lone pair electrons. Don't start adding double bonds all over the place. The second thing to know is that we only use expanded octets if we need them. Sometimes we don't have a choice. Also, if we need to add electrons, it's only the central atom that will have an expanded octet or be electron deficient. We're not going to let the ones that are around the side, like the hydrogens or the fluorines or the chlorines, be electron deficient or expanded octets. So take a minute and for the first row, figure out how many electrons there should be for each of these 3 molecules. Start again when you're ready. All right, so did you come up with these? Clearly, from the first one, we cannot have an octet because there's only 6 electrons. So if we want to draw it, we would put our boron in the middle, our 3 connecting bonds, and that's all the electrons we have. That's the structure. SF4 is going to have an expanded octet. So I'm going to start with my sulfur. I'm going to connect my 4 fluorines. And then I'm going to start adding electrons. And I can add 6 unbonded electrons to each fluorine. This is now a total of 32 electrons, but I have to use exactly 34. So in order to make that happen, I'm going to add another pair of electrons on the sulfur. Notice it's the central atom that gets the extra electrons, and we're not going to start drawing some extra bonds. That bond seems to disappear. So that is SF4. PCl5 is a little different. I have phosphorus and I have 5 chlorines. And first I have to connect them, and just by connecting them, I am using an expanded octet. And if we count the electrons, that's 40 of them. So here is something else that you need to know. Expanded octets only work in period 3 or higher. So period 3, period 4, period 5. There is never, ever, ever an expanded octet for period 2 elements. The carbon, the nitrogen, the oxygen, the fluorine. Ever, ever, never, ever, ever will there be an expanded octet. So pause the video for a second and figure out, see what you can come up with for these next 3 structures. When you're ready, turn the video back on so we can go over it. So let's take a look at your answers. Did you get for the first one that there are 22 electrons? So the first thing I did was put all the red ones on. That used 20 of my electrons, but I have to use 22. So normally you would put them all in the same color, but I added that extra pair, the blue electrons. So iodine has an expanded octet, and it's the center iodine that gets the expanded octet. NO2 has an odd number of electrons, which means somewhere there's going to be an unpaired electron. We have an odd number because nitrogen is the one that has the odd number of electrons to start with, and because it is less electronegative than oxygen, nitrogen is going to be the one that is electron deficient. Did you catch that there are resonance structures for NO2? Need to draw both of them. And then ICl2 with a -1 charge, 7 and 14 and 1, 22 electrons. Just like I3, there's 3 atoms in a row, 22 electrons, so iodine gets a expanded octet. So pause the video one more time and try these two molecules. Start again when you're ready. So let's take a look at the answers. I'm going to do SF6 first because it's actually easier. We have 6 valence electrons, and 6 times 7 valence electrons is 48. We know this one breaks the octet rule. It has an expanded octet because the very minute we do our connecting bonds, we've used more than 8 electrons. Then from there, it's just a matter of adding our lone electrons to the rest of the molecule. XeO4 is a little more complicated. Let's take a look at the electrons. Here we go. And if I draw the simplest structure, the octet rule works. But let's take a look at it in terms of formal charge. Each oxygen has 6 valence electrons, -1 bond, -6 unbonded is a -1. And xenon has 8 -4, a +4 charge. That's not great. So it turns out we can draw XeO4 another way. This one is a rarity, but let's take a look at the formal charge. Oxygen has 6 valence electrons, -2 bonds, -4 electrons. So all of those are zeros. And xenon has 8 valence electrons, -8 bonds is 0. Now, that one is unique. You're not going to see that very often, but that is one case where we really need to look at the formal charge to get the best structure. So to review, not every molecule is going to obey the octet rule. Most do, and if you can stick to the octet rule, do that. But you'll find some that are electron deficient, like this NO2 or this BH3, and we'll find some with expanded octets, like PCl5 or SF4 or SF6. So I hope that gives you all the information you need, and you can try the problems.